But in a way,
say all those things together would maybe lead one to believe that either climate change exists, or something is returning.
Earthquakes are not at the mercy of climate change. It's underground.
No. Big news today regarding the solar eclipse. A lot of people paying attention to that. And Sunny Hostin, unfortunately, talked about the solar eclipse and earthquakes in the context of climate change. So here's more of Hostin's embarrassing moment as her co-host tried to reel her back in as she says something that's wholly inaccurate. Let's watch.
I mean, I have to say, Karen Dupiche, our one of our wonderful makeup artists, when the earthquake was happening, she put her coat on and she was like, "Jesus is coming.
I'm out.
I'm out. I'm leaving. We've got a solar eclipse. We've got the earthquake. She ran down the hallway.
The rapture is here.
The rapture's here." And then also, I learned that the cicadas are coming. Cicadas.
Although I love
for the first time in like 100 years.
No.
Two different. Well, this is what I read. Two different times.
Two different kinds of cicadas.
Yes, 2 different times are coming.
The good cicadas and the bad cicadas.
But for the first time in many years.
No, every 17 years this happens.
Well, that's not what I read, but maybe maybe you know better. But
in a way,
say all those things together would maybe lead one to believe that either climate change exists, or something is returning.
Earthquakes are not at the mercy of climate change. It's underground.
It happens, and the eclipse. They've known about the eclipse coming because eclipses happen, and they actually can say when these things are going to happen. So all these folks who are saying, it's a sign from God. God doesn't give you warning.
Oh, that was bad. That was really bad.
Yeah. Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Look, the eclipse has nothing to do with climate change.
Zero.
Earthquake has nothing to do with climate change. What are we doing?
So guys, politics unfortunately is a lot about fear. Both sides use fear to drive votes. It's unfortunately the most effective way to drive votes. And so, the Republicans tell you, oh my God, the immigrants are coming and they're gonna destroy the country and they're gonna take over the country and it's an invasion. You should be really afraid. The terrorists are coming, the Muslims are coming, the gay people are coming, the trans people are coming into the bathroom, into your schools, and fear, right? And on the left, we have other things that drives fear. Number one for the Democratic leadership is Trump. Trump's a boogeyman. Oh my God, he's coming. He's got fear. And one of it is climate change. Now, in the case of climate change, it is enormously real. You actually should be a little bit afraid of that one, maybe a lot afraid of that one, but it coincides with Democratic politics. But you should never use it for fear mongering, especially if you're in media. I get it, I get the politicians, but our job is to call out the politicians that are using it in that context. But Sunny Hostin and a lot of folks in the mainstream establishment Democrat crowd, there's no off switch on fear mongering. So that's why she's going to earthquakes, eclipses, cicadas, etc., having to do with climate change. That didn't have anything to do with climate change. Tons of things. We tell you here, the hurricanes, the extreme storms, the rising of the oceans, etc., are related to climate change because they're driven by the hot temperatures and the hot water and the oceans cooling, etc.
Right.
But earthquakes, nothing to do with it. Eclipse, we told you eclipses have been coming. We know the patterns for hundreds of years now, having nothing to do with climate change. So you ruin all credibility when you use climate change for fear mongering on just political causes when you're wrong.
And what it does is it makes viewers who are informed about what actually causes an eclipse or what actually causes an earthquake to hear what Hostin is saying there and really question whether they've been lied to about the severity of climate change or whether there have been lies about climate change being tied to other things that it wasn't actually tied to, right? And I agree with you, Cenk. Obviously, there is reality behind climate change, but you start losing trust among your audience when you tie climate change to things that you really have no business tying it to. So as we know, the eclipse that occurred today that made a lot of news, people were talking about it all day, has to do with the moon passing between the sun and the earth, and it temporarily blocks the sun. That has nothing to do with climate change. Climate change has nothing to do with earthquakes. Earthquakes are caused by a sudden movement along faults within the earth.
Tectonic plate movement,
Yeah.
that's right. So look, when you talk about small earthquakes, and I'm not minimizing it, due to fracking, that's a totally different issue and not related to the earthquake of the tectonic plate movement in New York. But by the way, guys, as always, we're fair. There's things that the Republicans use for fear that is from time to time also true, like crime. So they'll use crime as a wedge issue to get you really afraid of what's going to happen. But sometimes crime does rise, as it did recently, right? So you have to see for yourself, are they fear-mongering or is there basis in fact for it? And then finally, people in New York are so self-absorbed. Earthquakes don't normally happen out there. So then one time they have an earthquake, very mild one, they're like, oh my God, the earthquakes are coming. They've been here the whole time in other parts of the country. You guys didn't care. It happens to you once and they're like, oh, is it God or is it climate change? It's neither, and they happen all the time. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.